thanks for joining me. This is the report for April 13th. Before I get into the report, for those of you who may have tried to call me in the last couple of days, I've lost my phone. I'm in the process of either recovering the phone or getting a new one. It's not that I'm trying to ignore you. I just haven't had a phone. So give me a couple of days and we'll be back in phone communication. Okay, not a lot of new business before we get into the report this week, but I do want to remind everybody the quest for the best bass tournament, the big one coming up this weekend, is going to be April 14th, 15th, and 16th. 15 of the best bass anglers on the West Coast will be out here shooting it out to see who's the best. And the center is going to be the Safe Credit Union Convention Center in Sacramento. That's where they're having the weigh-in. They're going to have an outdoor expo out there. They're going to have pros out there, a lot of vendors, food, music, the whole 9 yards. Rob Cloutier from the Bass Hole will have a booth up there. I'll be with Rob. Rob's going to be selling some, I know he's going to have iRod and a bunch of his popular Delta stuff out there. If you guys are out, make sure you stop by the booth and say hi to Rob and I, and we can chat a little bit. So with that, let's get right into the report. And I think as we look back on the year 2023, all of us are going to say that this past week is the week that the Delta really started to come alive a little bit. It's not fishing 100%, but it's you know, things are perking up. What's been going on out here? A little bit of everything. Ruben sent me a report. He took his crew out. They're catching sturgeon. I talked to Joseph from Core Fishing. He went out and got 5 or 6 stripers along with a handful of largemouth. He's getting his stripers on glide baits and jerk baits. Stripers are coming in. I'm not going to talk a lot about them right now because there's so much going on in the largemouth scene that's where most of the interest is. My partners Nick and Mike, they went out, they got a nice striper in their bag, and they caught I think 8 or 9 largemouth bass. I'll get right into the Central Delta River conditions. It's looking really good. I'm getting 59 to 60 degree temperatures in the morning, up to 65 in the afternoon. I've had reports of up to 67 degree temperatures. Water clarity or visibility out here is 3 to 5 feet. It's getting better every day. By the time you come out this weekend, it's liable to be, 5 or 6 feet of visibility. You will find some spots that are maybe 3 to 4 foot of viz, but everything's looking good. Water temperatures are looking good. We've had a little bit of a breeze this last week. It's been chilly in the morning. Make sure you bring your jacket, but all in all, everyone seems to be catching more fish. There's fewer and fewer skunks, and there's a lot of big fish coming in. I will say this tournament coming up this weekend, you're going to see some big weights. I think you're going to see a 30-pound bag. I think you're going to see a double-digit fish or several double digits, a lot of 7 and 8 pound fish, and a lot of 25-pound bags. Just remember, when you go out, don't hold your standards to what everyone else is doing, not just the tournament guys, but you're going to hear everybody's catching fish in the next few weeks. And for me, it's taking a little time to just break out of the funk of winter, and I've had to really work for the fish that I've been catching, and I think I'm putting in too much time and effort to catch what I'm catching. But I have noticed that my fishing, I'm getting more and more bites. I'm catching more and more fish. I'm losing a lot of fish, but I think I'm just rusty. So with that, I'll also talk about a report I got from Keith from Free Spooling. Keith tried to get his kayak in over at Tracy Oasis. I think it was Tuesday. Water was so swift and chocolate that he just pulled up and wound up going into Rivers Inn. I think the South Delta is still closed down by Mossdale, but if you're thinking about going out at Tracy Oasis, make sure you call, make sure that you've got conditions that allow you to get out and fish. Keith, like I said, went out to Rivers Inn. Everything was okay. He had 2 to 3 feet of viz out there and about 65 degree water temperatures, and he caught a few fish out there. So with that, what went on last week on the Delta? NorCal tournament had a 40 boat, NorCal Bass had a 40 boat tournament. It was won by Lorenzo Rossetti with 18.7 pounds. 20th place had 8 pounds, and I think they had about 15 guys that either didn't weigh in or caught 1 or 2 fish. So the fishing is still not 100%. And for those of you who don't know Lorenzo Rossetti or don't know that name, Lorenzo hasn't been around a whole lot tournament fishing, but about 10, 15 years ago, this guy was one of the top guys on the Delta. It's not like, who's this Lorenzo Rossetti guy and how'd he get 18 pounds? This guy knows what he's doing. He didn't get that weight by accident, and that's not an easy weight to get. There was another tournament on Saturday out of Paradise Point, about a 20-boat tournament, and I think that tournament was won with 16 pounds, but the same thing. A lot of guys, there was guys that had tough fishing, didn't weigh in, 1 or 2 fish. So it's not on fire out here, but it's getting better and better. With that being said, let me tell you what I've been doing, and I'll give you some tips and suggestions on what you can do out here this weekend to catch some fish. And I haven't been doing anything out of the normal. Oh, actually, I have been, but I haven't been catching anything on anything out of the normal. I haven't been getting topwater bites. I've been throwing weight baits. I haven't been getting bit on that. I haven't really been getting bit a whole lot on moving baits. If you're coming out this weekend, I would stick to worms. Almost everything I've caught has been on a slow-moving worm. I had one really good day. I think my son and I were out. We had a 12-fish day and caught some nice fish, put a nice limit in the boat. I had another okay day, and I've had a couple of days where I've had 2 fish days out here. The difference from me catching 2 fish and going home is I've had my chance to catch numerous fish on those days, and I've just blown it. All of them are on worms. Like I said, I'm fishing pretty crappy right now. My 2 fish days, I should have had 5 or 6 fish, and it's getting better and better. More and more bites. Okay, most of my fish have been on low tide, either the incoming low or right as it starts low tide and it starts coming in has been my best bite. High tides have not been really good for me for some reason, and really fast tides haven't been good. I've been using worms, and I've been using a number of different techniques to fish what I have in front of me, meaning all plastics, and stick with black, blue flake, green pumpkin, and either purple margarita mutilator style colors, drop shot, T-rigged. I have been punching, haven't been getting a lot of fish punching, but I haven't tried a whole lot. So drop shot, T-rig, split shotting, weightless wacky, and weighted wacky. I'm using all of those techniques so I can fish what's in front of me. And if I'm fishing a lot of vegetation, I'm using that weightless Cinco just with an inline hook on it so I can drag it through the vegetation. If I'm out from the cover, maybe around the tules, I'm throwing that drop shot. So, make sure you have a variety of techniques to fish those worms. You don't have to go crazy with the colors or sizes. 5 to 6 inch worms are doing well out here. You want to hold real tight to cover. If you're fishing tules, you want to be in tight. That's where I'm getting most of my fish. But all in all, the reports, people are catching them on crankbaits. They're catching them on spinner baits. Whatever you throw out here, you're going to catch fish on. You just have to stick with it. And like I said, my best luck has been on plastics. Slow down. It's easy to think about all the other people catching fish out here and speed up, and then lose your mojo out here. So with that, I just want to thank all you guys for watching. Come out here and have a good time. It's getting to that point. I will continue to just fish standard stuff so that when I give my report, you guys will know what's going on. And hey, have a good week. Get out here, start fishing, and hopefully I'll see you guys on the water. Thanks for watching.